Okay, so this is actually the third attempt at this video. Um, you made notice a few differences. First of all, got out of the military. That's why I have this beard now. Not as long as I want it yet, but it'll grow in. It's nice to have hair again, too. By the way, I'd forgotten what it was like to actually use a comb. My hair was never long enough to use a comb. Um, Anyway, got out of the military, came back home, figured I'd try dating a little bit. Um, yeah, no, it hadn't gone well. From what I can tell on Plenty of Fish, I believe the primary problem is my photo. I'm not a beautiful guy, just not. But I'm not hideous either. I'm not stupid. There are much less attractive guys out there than me. There are also quite a few more attractive guys. I would probably say that I am average to just maybe slightly below average. I can't imagine that I would rate on the hideous scale too far down there. But anyways, uh, so I also have tried Tinder and Bumble. Very few matches on any of those sites. Only talked with one actual person on Plenty of Fish. I also tried a site called Meet Me, which is interesting, but it didn't seem so much like a dating site and more just like a live streaming app. Anyways, so I Uh, like I said, I figure it's my pictures that are the primary problem, and I hear my cat. She may jump up here in a minute. Um, Mostly because nobody's reading my profile. If they're not even getting to my profile, can't really be my profile that they dislike. But yeah. Anyways, I actually found a site. I had to pay them, but they will rate my pictures for me. So we're going to try and do a screen share here and take a look at what they have to say. Because really, I just want to be able to get a picture that looks about average instead of apparently most of these are like hideous. So, yeah, we're still looking hideous everywhere. Let's see. This one has the most votes, so let's take a look at what they got to say. Trustworthy, below average. Not really. No. Smart, way more than you are. Attractive. This was a terrible picture, but seems a bit too close up. Would prefer if it weren't cropped as tightly. I have short arms. Sorry, bitch. Would prefer if they were smiling a bit less. It's interesting. People always tell me that I need to smile in my pictures. I don't think I do. I actually am not really sure it makes a difference. Would prefer a different expression without the glare on the glasses. Well, I did take a picture and it is a selfie. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're going to get rid of glare. Whatever, lady. All right, back. This one. Uh, I guess this one's rating probably about the best on attractive. Let's see what sort of notes we have. So I'm still below average on smart and attractive for this picture, but I'm average on trustworthiness. Isn't that nice? Would prefer without the cat make eye contact. I actually had wanted it with the cat. It was for dating profile, and since I have a cat and I want to make sure people know that I actually have a cat, well, I wanted the cat in there. Would prefer a different expression. I'm a little disturbed by this picture. It almost looks like they are choking the kitty. I'm not choking the cat. She wanted to crawl up on my stomach. Basically, I crawl up me, and that was not going to make for a good picture. Um, but yeah, all right. Let's take a look here. This one's probably about the lowest of all of them. I look ugly, apparently, really ugly, and not smart and not trustworthy. Okay. They seem sad in this photo. They seem intense, would prefer a different expression. Well, that is a photo right in front of my dead mother's wedding picture. So, yeah, I was kind of sad in the photo, you know? Sorry, assholes. I get sad. It happens. Uh, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Would prefer a different expression. Well, yeah, I would too. But, sometimes we get sad. It fucking happens. Let's see. Average on smart, average on trustworthy. Below average on attractive. Okay, well, let's take a look at this one. Would prefer a photo of them alone. Yes, but I did a bunch of photos of me alone, and I wanted to see if having other people in the picture helped, and apparently it does. It doesn't help me look less ugly, I guess, but yeah. I think the woman on the left looks like she could be his wife. Well, it's my sister. So, yeah, that's a creepy thing to say. Yeah, whatever. Great smile. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. I have an ugly smile, but thank you. For lying. Uh, yeah. Well, let's see if anybody's voted anymore since I last checked. Gotten another vote on a few of these. Yeah, so far the photo that's doing way outpacing the others is me with my brother and sister. This one here. Um, that kind of tells me something. That means I really have to have other people in my photos for them to look any even the least bit decent. That's interesting. Well, okay. Let's stop sharing the screen. Uh, uh, well, we'll take a look back here in a few minutes and see just how it's going. So the reasons that I said I feel that it's my picture is that nobody's going to the profile. The profile has to have some problems too, because there were a few women who went to my profile, but still didn't um, like send me any sort of response to my messages or anything. Um, yeah, but a few of them, honestly, I couldn't figure them out. There are a few of them that I just couldn't figure out what their deal was. I mean, I know I'm not the most beautiful guy out there, but even the photos I showed you, for the most part, they weren't that bad. You know, they to my mind, they were photos where you'd say, maybe not, but uh, especially for some of the women I was messaging. I mean, I'm not a rude person. I would never say something like this to their faces, but they were no prizes. I mean, they weren't hideous, but they were no prizes. I mean, you're 35 years old. You aren't married. You have a bunch of kids. You don't appear to have either don't have a job or don't have a very good job. Uh, these were some of the profiles I was coming across and messaging some of these women because I was like, well, she's not hideous, and really, I'm only looking for someone. I am only looking for someone to go out some with and not be in the house. Um, and yeah, I mean, one of them, she thinks she was 33. Nerdy chick is evident from her photos, overweight. And but she was into the same things that I was. And FYI, overweight is not a deal breaker for me. But she was overweight. I know that most men would not have found her particularly attractive. Um, but yeah, same sort of interests. She actually had in her like little opening line there on Plenty of Fish, something that I'm pretty sure was a reference to Doctor Who, and I don't even think that most people even know who Doctor Who is. You know, if I just grabbed a random person off the street, unless they happen to be into sci-fi, or maybe they looked it up from The Big Bang Theory, because I know that they've had it on there before. But for the most part, I don't think that most people would even know who that was, and I did, and I pointed that out. And I asked her who her favorite doctor was because they've had a bunch of them. Nothing, just nothing. I'm like, I mean, you're probably not going to find anyone else on there with closer or more similar interests. So, what are you going for? I don't know. I do feel like a lot of these ladies on these dating websites, um, they've almost got like this unrealistic expectation of what they're going to find. They're like, well, they're like, oh, I'm going to go on here. I'm going to find a guy who's just gorgeous and he makes a whole lot of money, and he drives a nice car, and he's just a sweet, decent guy. That's what I want. That's what I want to find. And I'm like, if you're in your mid 30s and you haven't found a guy like that, you're probably not going to find a guy like that. And for the most part, I mean, honestly, a guy like that does not need to be on online dating. um, I suppose not that any of us really need to be, but the point is, I mean, he's got that nice car. He just drives up in that nice car, and women will flock around it. Uh, I mean, you may think that sounds like a stereotype, but it's true. I've seen it happen. I've known friends who were that good looking guy with the nice car and not really the nice job. Most of them had a really good car, and that's about the only nice thing they had. But I mean, it's true. Women just flock around that, and so yeah, I mean, guys like that don't need to go online to find someone. I probably don't need to. It's just the easier way of doing it, because uh, I I don't know. I think I tend to be too, how do you call it, maybe respectful, or just too polite in conversation with people. It's hard for them to tell whether or not I'm interested in them. Um, and I have a difficult time gauging women's interest in me because, unfortunately, a lot of women give very similar responses for very different types of feeling. Nervousness, for instance, yeah, she could be nervous because she wants me to get the heck away from her, or she could be nervous because she's kind of into me. It doesn't help that I don't know which it is, and women are very coy about expressing any sort of basically letting you know in any sort of way that they're interested. Let's screen share again if we can. We can't. Okay, screen share. There we go. Share. All right, we are screen sharing again. Let's take a look here. All right. So far, without a doubt, the best photo is my photo with my brother and sister. I mean, I may as well delete this one. I mean, there's just nothing here. All right. Well, let's see if anybody gave any new notes for this one. So average, trustworthy, below average, smart, below average on attractive. Got a couple more great smiles. I said I don't think the smile does or doesn't make a difference from what I can tell. What we got on this one? I think this is the same amount we had last time. Would prefer if they were smiling more. No, you wouldn't. took a look at the ones that I'm smiling on. It does not make me more or less attractive. It may make me look more trustworthy or smart, apparently. But see, the attractive is what I'm worried about. As far as the trustworthy and smart, I don't really care if they look at my photo and say, well, he looks pretty but dumb. If they take a look at my profile, they're going to realize that, those other two are not true. I at least need one where I look about average to most people. And so far, it's this one. Even though it's below average, but it's the closest. Let's see. So it's not showing me as above average on anything. Uh, All right. Well, stop screen sharing. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna cut off this stream now, and um, yeah, I think I'd honestly have more luck walking outside and just randomly throwing rocks at passerbys until one of them yelled at me, and I'd have a better conversation than I've had with anyone with online dating. I'm pretty sure it doesn't really work for men. It might work well for women, but pretty sure it doesn't really work for men, at least not men of average or below average attractiveness, Um, yeah. Well, anyone who watches this, let me know what you think. Yeah. Peace out. I hope my friends back from the military who, had wanted me to do these sort of things that they take a look at it later.